Alright, folks, so I just beat Metroid Prime Remastered. We ended a little early. Got a little bit over half an hour left on my stream to just relax. So I said, let's just do a random Q&A session with the viewers, see what they want to talk about today. Let's see, Delta Phazon says, what's the plan with Elden Ring? We don't know yet. It's either going to be a New Game Plus run where I do a totally new build, and people help me to build this build, and essentially that run would be a shorter run where I guess I'm just hitting upon the major things in the game, like the major bosses and requirements to beat it. Or some people seem to be of the impression they want a start from scratch run, but I'm stumped at that. Like, I did a completionist playthrough when I played Elden Ring 1. My playthrough was, what, 140 parts or something crazy like that? I don't know who would want me to go back and play that game from the start and do another 100+ hour playthrough. That baffles me. I don't understand that. I thought if people wanted it, they would want New Game Plus, so I could at least go through the game another time and get to the point where the DLC will be, because we don't know. We don't know where the DLC will activate in the game. That's exactly what I thought it was going to be no matter what. And then some people are like, no, do a whole new from scratch run. I'm like, huh? Like, you understand the commitment that's going to take. That's going to take a ton of commitment and time. Are you sure you want to see a crazy, insanely long run? Because ultimately it just comes down to you guys, the viewers. If people want to see that, I'll do it, but they got to commit to showing up, engaging, and supporting. Not, oh, we want it, I start it, and then within 2 streams, no one shows up, and you know what I mean? Like, no, it has to be something that people will want and commit to. Dex says, it's because New Game Plus isn't scaled well, you will 2-hit half the bosses. Why can't you still hit important stuff with a new character? Because you're not powerful enough to turbo through it. That's why. In a regular run, the bosses don't scale to you, so you have to level. You have to grind and level and explore to have the abilities to beat the major bosses. Or I'm not a fucking pro Dark Souls player. You understand that? I can't speed run Elden Ring and beat every boss. I need to play it normally. So it's going to either be a very lengthy playthrough or a not so lengthy playthrough. It's up to you. See, no one seems to agree. Some people said this is an understandable point. Others say, no, you should do a new game run. And they say, no, New Game Plus is probably the best. Oh my god. Mango did a super chat. He says, can we start a PC fundraiser? My fave games are on Steam. There's a whole catalog of games you could start playing. No. I already told you guys, even if I did a new PC fundraiser, it's not to play games on PC. It's to have my PC be updated. Because right now I'm having issues with corrupting videos and stuff. I actually feel like spending insane amounts of money to make it a game-playing PC would actually be a waste. I don't think there's many or any games that I really need to play on PC, quite frankly. I don't feel that at all. No, to my knowledge, I didn't lose any weight. Don't think so. I weighed this. I've weighed between 205 to 215 pounds for over a year. I lost a few pounds. Originally, I was probably around 215, 220-ish. And then when I started doing my little jogs and stuff last year, I actually lost like 5 to 10 pounds doing that. And I never really put the weight back on. It's just kind of, I kept it off. So. Learn the speed run. I'm not going to do a speed run of Elden Ring. No, we're not doing that. I'm not doing multiplayer matches with members. We've talked about this a million times. Stop wasting my time. Thanks. HoboX, I missed the last Level 1 podcast. Maybe you talked about it. YouTube streaming launched AV1 support. Have you heard of it? I have no idea what that means. None. No idea. Zero. Final Fantasy 14 and Crisis Core are waiting. I'm not playing Final Fantasy 14. It's an MMO. Crisis Core, I own on the Switch. If people wanted me to do a playthrough of it, I could do it. Ambulatory says, will you play the new Hollow Knight when it comes out? I heard it'll be on Game Pass. Yes. If that's the case, that's a definite yes. No, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm a little peeved at the end of Metroid Prime, which is very annoying, but I'm definitely not in a bad mood. What's up, Drunken Weasel? HoboX says, AV1 is a next-generation video codec. It will replace H.264 everywhere eventually. AV1 at 3,000 kilobits per second would equal to 6,500 kilobits at H.264. That's good. That's very good. That would mean video size would be way, way, way down. And also that would mean processor use would be way down for encoding. That sounds good to me. That sounds really good. No, I've never ridden on a log ride. I'm not sure what a log ride is. No clue. Okay. Oh, man. Dex Parker says, I'm curious on your opinion on Dark Souls 2. Where do you think it is falling as the only game Miyazaki wasn't involved in? I still like Dark Souls 2. A lot of people hate on it, but it kind of feels like an interesting anomaly because it does feel different. Having that, have to level up that certain stat to even roll fast. Having dual wielding is crazy cool. The dual wielding in that game is so fun. My first run, I didn't even know you could do it. Then I did a second run years later, and the dual wielding made the game super duper fun. Of course, it's broken when you use it, but it was so cool. So I would say that it's a good game, but it's so different from the other Dark Souls games that it's kind of an anomaly. It absolutely is. I enjoy it, though. I like it. No problem, Slayer. Yes, I have your emails lined up for tonight for your private react that I'm filming for you. No worries there. Am I a fan of Jelly Belly candies? Not really. I'm not really into jelly beans. I like chocolate. I'm a chocolate candy guy. I'm not into fruity stuff. When I was a kid, I said this on the podcast this morning, I was into like Starburst and stuff like that. But outside of that, I don't really have a taste for jelly beans or fruity candy that much. So, yes, we're playing Jedi Survivor at the end of this month. Absolutely. No, I'm not replaying Neo 1. Sorry. Did I like roller coasters back then? I was never a big roller coaster guy. Mostly for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm afraid of heights. And it's not a logical fear. Like, I know there's no reason to be afraid of heights, but I just am. My body, naturally, I just get scared. So being on a roller coaster, you're high up. I'm already scared, right? I don't know. I do enjoy things at theme parks, just not crazy rides that push me to the limit and jerk me around and make me feel like shit. I don't know. A lot of people like that kind of thrill. I'm not really a thrill seeker in that way. Plume Kit, we have not decided on the long form react yet. We're going between Internet Historian, Defunct Land, and Low Spec Gamer. It's those three. And one of those we'll be reacting to at the end of this month. The final weekend of April. I'm not sure exactly when. But we will be doing that at the end of the month, okay? Hobo X says, AV1 will be a lot harder to process. You'll definitely need a new PC and hardware that will support it. That would be your priority for eventual PC replacement. There you go. There you go. That sounds right. Slayer says, I've actually seen some gameplay of Dead Island 2. It definitely looks like an improvement over the original game. I think it will be quite good. Interesting. We'll have to look into that. That's about middle of this month. So another week and a half, I think, before that one comes out. To look into it and think if people want it or not. What did I prefer, Resident Evil 2 or 4 remakes? 2. Why 2? Because it really, from the ground up, feels like a completely new game. From start to finish, it feels like a brand new game. And because of that, I like it. It's still in the vein of the original, for sure. But being in a whole new feel is a huge thing. Resident Evil 4 feels like Resident Evil 4 with some new stuff thrown in. But to me, it didn't feel like a new game at all. It just felt like a tweaked game with new mechanics. While Resident Evil 2, I really feel like I'm playing something new. So, number 2 to the Super Chat says, would you react to the scandal surrounding Adam Krigler? I know nothing about it. Is this a new scandal? Or is this something from the past? I know of his past, like I guess he used to be on some conservative talk show on YouTube, and I guess he got kicked off of it. But that's the most I know about it. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about the show. I know nothing about the circumstance. And I don't really see the drama there either. So, Real Take Sports to the Super Chat says, Happy Easter to you, your wife, and chat. Thank you very much, Real Take Sports, for the Super Chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Do we have to wait until Oblivion ends to get another viewer's choice, and how will it work because there's no longer tied to member goals? If we do another viewer's choice, it's literally just another viewer's choice, meaning you're going to have people who are going to nominate games and then vote. Members are going to nominate and vote, and it's not tied to a member goal at all. It just happens. So essentially, when will we do another viewer's choice? When we're in need of another game that's likely going to be an interesting long-form game for my streams. Right now, we don't need that. Right now, we have 2 new games that are going to be starting this week with Silent Hill 3 HD and an Elden Ring run, whatever it ends up being. We still got to finish Oblivion and possibly even its DLC or DLCs. I don't know if it has 1 or 2. And also, we're finishing Like a Dragon Ishin, but we already have a couple chill-style games lined up this month. For example, that Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, as well as maybe some of these other collections coming out, like the Mega Man Battle Network or that Advance Wars collection. So it sounds like we're going to have other games to fill in for the chill stuff. So really, we're not looking for anything right now. But later on this year, as we get into the summer, and the summer months, things tend to slow down dramatically for games. Yeah, then we're probably going to be looking, and then we'll probably do a viewer's choice event. So 4DX Theater? No, not to my knowledge. I don't know if we have a 4DX Theater nearby. I don't think I've ever even looked for one. So maybe we do, though. I live near Seattle. Seattle is a hotbed for this kind of shit, so maybe we do. I don't know. No, I heard nothing about Disney doing another Star Wars trilogy. I don't really care, honestly. Lost Odyssey is a better option. See, here's the thing, though. Lost Odyssey is a very lengthy, very grind-required RPG. I played it before. I loved it when I played it, but man, it's a challenging game. And it's good, though. It's good in that regard. It's kind of like the ultimate JRPG-style classic game. If I'm going to look for a late-night chill stream, I don't want to commit to something that's going to be 100 hours long, especially because we're just playing Oblivion, which is 100 hours long. So I think that these Pixel remasters would work really well because the classic Final Fantasies are shorter games, and it would allow me to play some awesome games that I've played before but actually experience it with a live audience now for the first time ever. Or maybe some of these other collections, right, where it's games I never played before. I think that would be better than Lost Odyssey. Don't get me wrong, I want to play Lost Odyssey. But I think if we're going to do Lost Odyssey, it should be a lengthy JRPG playthrough that we do when I'm not doing other lengthy RPGs. I can't do 2 at once, you know? Rovian Forever says, I want you to play a game you actually want to play. Oblivion streams feel like you're being forced to play them. That's completely incorrect. At first, I didn't know if I was going to like Oblivion. I was very skeptical when we started playing it because I thought people would have liked Fallout 3 rather than Oblivion, being that last year we just played Skyrim. But now that we're into Oblivion, I love it. It's chill fun. There's tons of questing. There's hilarious things happening every stream. I really like the playthrough. So that's false. Number 2 says, Adam Krigler has done all the things you're being accused of. Complete hypocrite when he says you are a king on the pedestal. It's 100% Adam himself. Again, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, what you're saying. I have no idea. Well, you'd have to elaborate more, and I really don't know. Met91 says, if you don't have enough classic games to play in May, maybe you do a second playthrough of Mario 3. It's the only classic Mario game you never revisited. Right, and if you remember, when I was playing those classic Mario games a decade ago, I played them co-op with John Rambo. So this time around, it would be playing them for myself with a live interactive audience. It would be a very different playthrough than the original for sure. Not to say I didn't like those. Those playthroughs back in the day were super duper fun, but doing it for myself as a solo playthrough would probably be a very different experience, but a fun experience. So. Saints Row says Saw Them Eyes. We did Saints Row 1 last year. But people did request that I do a full playthrough of Saints Row 2, which I've never done. So we could do Saints Row 2 at some point if people were interested. Bloomkit, there is no way to play the PS2 version of Silent Hill 3. No, it's not possible. The Remastered Collection is the only way you could play it on a console right now. It sucks. There's no, you know, if I could do it, it was viable, but there's no way. I don't have a working PS2. I don't have a copy of the game. I don't have a way to capture from PS2. So the answer, sadly, is no. Nope. No Easter Bunny visit and no candy for me today. I don't have any candy in the house. All right, enjoy your ban here. Idiot gets banned. Okay. Disney Afternoon Collection. I still own it, but I don't think anyone really requests it. It never really gets many requests to be played, so. We don't have any candy in the house right now at all. Zero. Zero candy. Have I ever ridden on a fast spinning ride? Willow, I don't know. I haven't gone on a ride in like 10 years, 15 years. I don't know, man. Slayer says, I've been trying to do all the sub-stories on Like a Dragon Ishin using a guide. You definitely need a guide for that game because it doesn't tell you where any of them are. You just got to stumble upon them. As you saw, if you've been watching my streams, I spent like 3 to 4 straight streams doing side content. And finally I said, we got to advance the plot. But there's so many random stories that are kind of neat and fun and quirky. Rovian Forever says, I will vote for OG God of War when you're preparing for the next viewer's choice. Oh, yeah? Which one? Because out of all the originals, I never played 2 at all. I only played the intro to it on PS Plus Premium last year via the cloud. But I never actually did a playthrough of God of War 2. I've never even seen the plot of it. Me too. Waifu Flair says, I'm excited to see Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. I really want to play 5, because I never played it for you guys, and that's one that I did play several times when I was younger, and I liked it. The gameplay in particular, and the music is really good in that one. 1, 2, and 3, may be enjoyable, may not. I remember 1 being good. I don't really remember 2, and 3 I never finished. But maybe in these Pixel remasters, it'll be a lot more fun and bearable. I don't know. But I am interested in playing those with you guys. No, I never played God of War 2. I owned God of War 1 on PS1 and played it back in the day. And I never played 2 or 3. Then, when I became a YouTuber, 3 came out, and I played it as a new game when it came out. And then I played God of War Ascension as a new game when it came out. And then they came out with God of War Trilogy, and I replayed God of War 1 in HD at one point. But I never went back and played 2. Oh, I knew that. Slayer says there's a whole sub-story section involving Haruka's house management and leveling up bonds. I knew that, but that stuff is so time-consuming. That's why I didn't do it. For the playthrough, I knew it wasn't going to work. We're already a 30-hour playthrough with Like a Dragon Ishin. Can you imagine if I did that stuff? It'd be like 50 hours. I'd never beat it. Oh, yeah? Mr. Jizzlefish says, I'm playing Battlefield 2042 right now, and it did suck at release, but I feel after the backlash, it got better. I'm glad to hear that at least it didn't suck forever. Would I replay Lollipop Chainsaw for the 10th anniversary? No. Though I hate to say it, there's some games that at a certain time period worked, but they don't age well. Like Suda 51 games, when they were coming out, they were quirky and interesting and fun and different, right? They were very unique at the time. And back then, you're talking over 10 years ago. Okay? All 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, I should say. My commentary style was looking for that kind of game. A game that would have sexual content, excessive gore, scat humor puns. That's what I mean. Like, those games were 100% right up my alley because that was the kind of commentary I did on YouTube. Today, I have absolutely no desire to replay those games. Like, any Suda 51 game is kind of like, they're pretty immature. And again, when I was a younger content creator over 10 years ago, I liked that content because people enjoyed seeing my commentary to it. Now it's like, I wouldn't want to go back. By the way, the games aren't that good either. Like, Lollipop Chainsaw is not a very good game. It's a lot of very repetitive, annoying combat. It's just, what was the appeal? The sexual content, the over-the-top humor, the gore. That's what made the game fun, not the game. The game itself was just very repetitive. So, I would not go back and replay a game like that. No, absolutely not. Just like people ask me to play, Catherine again. Like, no, I did not like the puzzle gameplay of Catherine. I didn't. It sucked. I liked Catherine because it was one of the very first games I ever played that had that anime style. This was before I'd ever played like Persona or anything like that. And it opened my eyes to a different style of content when it comes to video games. In fact, my viewers as well. Back then, I was playing mostly Western games or Americanized games. And to play a game like Catherine, everyone was like, whoa, it's like anime with a game in there somewhere. And people liked that. But today, I wouldn't want to go back and play Catherine. I never liked the gameplay to begin with. And I already know the story, and I don't really care to see it again. So why would I go back? It's the thing. People over time change and evolve, and so do their tastes. There's a lot of games that I played back in the day that I probably would have zero interest in playing today. Would I get Deadpool 2 if they made another game? See, I don't know. That's another one. Deadpool 1, it's not a great game, but the humor kind of made it good. But how long could you do that kind of humor before you get bored of it? I feel like today I would probably get bored of it. No, I didn't know that Catherine was officially part of the Persona universe. I did not know that. How did the final boss go? Very frustrating, Eternal Napalm. I lost the first time, had to redo the entire thing from the start, which wasted about a half an hour, and then I almost lost again, but I did beat it at the last second. Good, because I told everyone I wasn't doing it again. I literally was not going to waste time trying it a third time, so. Oh, I'm not going to play Saints Row 2022. Hell no. Everyone heard how bad that game was. I'm not going to waste my time with that. If someone's being stupid, I'm just going to get rid of them. I don't want to talk about that stuff. Get out of here. What a dunce. Would I ever play Plumbers Don't Wear Ties? No. It's an incredibly stupid game. I know exactly what it is because the Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed it many, many, many years ago. It's a terrible game. I would never play it. It's not even really a game at all. It's trash. It's like bottom of the barrel garbage. Have I ever seen a waterfall in person? Well, not real ones. I've seen like man-made waterfalls in person. I've never seen like a natural waterfall in person. Eternal Napalm says Metroid 2 and 3 refine the Metroid Prime formula and improve upon the good and remove the flaws from the first game. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that they improved over time. Because the Metroid Prime is not a bad game at all, but it definitely shows age. And man, I wish this was better, this was better, this was better. I'm glad to hear that it sounds like they improved on some of that stuff moving forward. No, I never played the Saboteur. Just Chillin' says, if Age of Empires did come to Xbox, would you play it? Man, I don't know. Age of Empires is a game I very much enjoyed on PC back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I played 1, 2, I think I might have even played some of 3. And I like the games a lot, but I don't know if that's a game for an interactive audience or a stream. It seems like that's a game you play yourself. It would be pretty boring outside of that, I feel. So, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Sounds good. Bear Butt Gorilla Hut says, what game is the best virtual food? Man, Final Fantasy 15 was quite good for that, right? Shoot, I'm trying to think games where you crafted food and it would be part of the gameplay element, right? What was other games where you crafted food and it was part of the game? Shoot. I know there's a few I've played, but I'm having a brain fart. Bug Snacks? I don't know. Bloomkid says, would you play the Zero Escape trilogy, similar to Danganronpa, visual novel with tons of escape room puzzle? Oh, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about it, so I wouldn't say no, but I know nothing about it, so I can't really comment. I agree there. Slayer says, what about Yakuza? I will say yes. Because in Yakuza, food is part of it. Not only are you going to restaurants to eat, there's several missions usually always based around like Japanese style food. And sometimes you even have to buy the food and you have it as power-ups and stuff. Yes, I would say Yakuza series is also a good one. Correct. Am I planning on playing Diablo 4? It's a maybe. It's a strong maybe. Because I think people are going to want to see me play it. I'm just apprehensive because I played Diablo 3 and people hated it. They found it very boring. I'm thinking maybe Diablo 4 being a late night interactive chill stream as opposed to a daytime major playthrough might work better. Of course, we know the game's going to be long, so it might take me 17 months to beat it. You know, I don't know. We'll look into it, I guess. We'll see. PS3 Troop says, make a sandwich in Oblivion, it turns into a potion. Sure it does. I have no idea what you're talking about. Slayer says, remember, there's a whole udon side mission in Like a Dragon Edition. That's correct, there is. Making the udon for everyone, right? I forgot about that, because I only did it once. Okay. Favorite Pixar movie and why is it Cars? Ugh. I'd have to look at the Pixar movie lineup to answer that question. They made so many movies, but I mean, you can't really go wrong with classic Toy Story, right? Like Toy Story 1 or Toy Story 2. Those are really good movies. I enjoy the Cars movies and stuff, but I don't love them because I'm not into cars. Maybe if I was a car guy, I would like Cars better. I think it's all right. We got a few more minutes, about 10 more minutes, guys. You want to keep tagging me with questions here. Slayer says, I remember Toy Story 3 the most. Yeah, and it was weird because Toy Story 3 was a perfect ending, and then they kept making more. They just wanted more money. They couldn't stop themselves. Toy Story 3 was great, though. What's my favorite Assassin's Creed game? The entire 2 trilogy is definitely the best. I would say out of the 2 trilogy, either the first one or Brotherhood are both great games. And outside of those, probably Black Flag, and probably, which was the one where you could play as the brother-sister group? Was it Liberation? No, I don't think it was Liberation, was it? What was the one? Syndicate? I think it was Syndicate. Yeah, I really liked Syndicate, too. So I'll throw that one out there into the mix. Number 2 says, the Tetris movie on Apple Plus is outstanding. It stars the same guy who played Elton John and Rocky Man. Oh, that's interesting. I never, I mean, I don't have Apple Plus, but... sounds good. Play Destroyer says, you seemed excited about ranking ice cream. Why didn't that make it to the tier maker cut? Because just like everything, whenever we do one of these marathons, we all have a million ideas, and we can't do 90% of them. Because the time just doesn't permit. Like, I knew I wanted to do tier maker, and we were talking about it, and people were like, yeah, something with horror, and something with gaming. So what it ended up being, favorite horror movie or best horror movie villain, and best console, right? I told people wanted food, but we didn't even have time to do a third one. That was 2 hours of the stream right there. 2 hours was the schedule, and brainstorming ideas for the future schedule. We had the food, which was an hour. We had the match, the fantasy match, which was an hour. So you get adding it up, you're like, oh my God, it's already 8 hours. Yeah, and then we had the podcast, so that was the whole marathon. But I would totally be down for other chill marathons in the future, doing tier maker stuff if you guys so wanted. I'd be a lot of fun as to rank different kinds of food. I think would be really neat. No, I would not do a watch along to anime. That's called shutting your channel down permanently. Anime is like insanely risky on YouTube. Even people who have anime channels get their channels shut down regularly. So I'm not messing with that. My favorite Crash Bandicoot game? Oh, probably, was it 2? I'm trying to remember out of the trilogy that we played a few years ago. I think 2 is my favorite out of all those. Where did I get the Mario thing? The Mario thing. You mean this? You mean this picture? This is a piece of artwork from over a decade ago. Let me take a look at it. Square Painter 2010. 13 years ago. This was made by that guy, Square Painter, who used to go to all these gaming conventions and sell his art. I think he still does. Like, I think recently, in January, when I was putting this art on my stream for the first time, and I was looking at it, I mentioned Square Painter. Someone was like, yeah, I just looked him up, and he still goes to conventions. He was at MagFest, like, right then selling his art. So, still does it to this day. So this is a 13-year-old painting that I used to hang in my condo in Connecticut. You couldn't really see it because it was always in the background when I was doing videos, but now you can definitely see it. Usually this hangs in my living room, but I wanted to bring it to my setup for this month. He is? He's in the band Rex Viper with the AVGN? I didn't even know that. Bloomkid says, do you think the Silent Hill 2 remake is a good idea, or will they have leave the classic alone? No, it is a good idea. But not just Silent Hill 2. They should remake all the classics because those games, sadly, are lost. Like, the originals, you can't play them digitally. You can't even get them to play them like who has a working PS3? And they're not on a modern console digitally. The only thing you could do is buy that HD collection from 2012. That's what we're playing tomorrow. We're playing Silent Hill 3 HD, and everyone complains about it that it's not good. So, yeah, they absolutely should be remaking those games for modern audiences. Add in some new gameplay elements, some new plot elements, great modern graphics, new music. Like, everything should be redone. Make it like the Resident Evil remakes. I think people would buy those like crazy, quite frankly. It's Konami. Konami's the problem. Konami just doesn't know what to do with their games. They've dropped the ball. They haven't made anything meaningful in the last like 5 to 7 years. I think the last game Konami put out that was meaningful was Metal Gear Solid 5, right? They just don't know what they're doing as a company. They're flubbing. And they have all these amazing game IPs under their umbrella they could be making and stuff. They're not doing shit. So I'm glad they're remaking too. I hope that these continue to be made. And this new Silent Hill they claim they're making better be good. It better not be shit. No, number 2, I don't watch the Side Scrollers podcast, nor do I watch any other podcast. I do not. Absolutely not. Do you really think that after what happened the day after my interview that I would want to watch their podcast any further? I mean, seriously. Seriously. Absolutely not. It's this simple. I wish them the best. Let them go off and be successful without me. That's my attitude at this point, you know? Well, we're not here to talk about that. We got about 5 more minutes. So if anyone wants to talk. But I don't want to talk about that again. We already talked about it a million times. No, I'm not entering a eating contest with Wings and Boogie. You stop asking me dumb questions like that, too. Slayer, yes. Tonight, private videos for Slayer and one other person, I think. I think I'm doing it for 2 different people tonight. Yes, so private videos for patrons tonight. Tomorrow, we're into the swing of things with Silent Hill 3 HD and Oblivion. So, should be good. Are we done? No one's asking me anything, so maybe we're done. Maybe people are bored. Thank you to those who were here today and did support this stream. This is my only stream for the day, so I do appreciate that some people did come out and support it, although, obviously, the one stream, it's definitely not as if I was streaming a full day, but it is what it is. Tomorrow, we do have 2 more full days of streaming this week, luckily, so hopefully things level out and become normal tomorrow. I don't have a favorite seltzer. I like all different flavors of seltzer. Eddie says, I saw the Mario movie. It does have a lot of references, and I think you'll like it. Number 2 says, are you interested in reacting to DK Oldies? I don't even know what that means. Isn't DK Oldies an online service that sells consoles and games? How do you react to that exactly? What are you talking about? I think, Slayer, tonight I will post the thread up for DSP versus the Internet for next week. It's a good question. Since I have the night off for streaming, I do think that I will do the private react videos, and then I will post up the threads all at once. So, Just Chillin' says, I went through Square Painter's gallery. I learned the movie The Goonies got a video game release. Oh, yeah, you didn't know The Goonies had a classic NES game? Yes, it did. Mm-hmm. Did Kat recover from her foot injury and burns? Her foot injury has been recovered. Remember, she stepped on something and hurt her foot? She's recovered from that for, like, weeks. The burns are fine. The burn, luckily, was a minor burn. Didn't even blister up. Yeah, the skin's discolored, but what are you going to do with burn? It's healing nicely and no real issues. So we lucked out there because it could have been a really seriously bad burn and it wasn't. No, I'm not going to make canvas art. I'm not an artist. Jade, I'll see ya. Everyone, I should say this, everyone. Happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. Happy Passover to anyone who celebrates. Or if it's just a Sunday for you, happy Sunday. I hope you had a good day. I'm happy that at least the people who did show up today showed up to hang out with me, being that it was a holiday and also I was playing a game in Metroid Prime no one really cared about. I'm just glad to say it's done and now we can move on with stuff people actually want to see starting tomorrow, and it won't be a holiday, so we should have good attendance, I think. So it should be good. Would I ever play Persona 5 X? I think we mean Persona 5, what's it called? Royal or whatever? The one that has the new content? I may replay that one. I may play it one day. You know, when I played Persona 5, it was a very lengthy playthrough that spanned 2 years because I had to stop playing it because of copyright shit. I think Royal has new content. Doesn't have a whole new character and quests and stuff. So, I mean, if I were to play it again, I probably would play that version. But I don't know if people would want to see that or not. You know, being that's such a lengthy playthrough. Wow, I just received a tip at the very end of the stream. A $21 tip just came in from One Pump Chump. Would you... Let's just listen to this. You said you would never do a boxing match for content. Would you do a pay-per-view oily banana hammock pillow fight for charity? No. I would not do either of those things. That's really stupid. That is really dumb. But thank you for the tip. That's a very generous tip, and you are the top tipper. What's your name? One Pump Chump. There you go. What a name. I think he wanted to take over for 1 Minute Man, so he named himself One Pump Chump. There you go. Would I be willing to play a multiplayer game with my mods? I have no desire to play a multiplayer game at all unless it's online competitive multiplayer, in which case I don't need to play it with someone. You know, no need for a party, just play it online. I don't care about cooperative style games. I never really have. The few times that I dabbled in them, I don't think it really amounted to anything. I mean, look at my Destiny and Destiny 2 playthroughs, right? They're always like oddities that are one-offs that aren't a big deal. So I don't actually really care about online co-op stuff. So, you know, if I was super interested in online co-op stuff, would I talk to my moderators about playing it with me? Yes. Do I care about online co-op stuff? No, I don't. That's not the kind of content I put out. Everyone knows that it's single player content or online competitive content is the kind of stuff that I do. That's what I like. That's my specialty. 19 days of fasting so far, Slayer. Is it a solid 30 days you have to do? Or is it 4 weeks, 28 days? I'm curious what the criteria is. How far do I think I would make it in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Probably not too far. Because I don't know too much about random trivia stuff like that. So probably not too far at all. It's a solid 30 days? Wow. That's tough. Just makes it harder. Couldn't it be 4 weeks? It has to be 30 days. Add on a couple more. Right? Checkers or chess, says Astronaut? I prefer chess over checkers. Will Jesus return? I don't know. Maybe he already did and no one noticed. Right? Who knows? With this world, this crazy world we live in these days, who fucking knows what's going on? All right, guys. I think it is time to end the Q&A. Thanks. Just a chill Q&A session to kill some time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling. Awesome.